people of Reddit. What's a sign that someone is actually struggling that many people miss? They don't have the same excitement about things they used to really enjoy. Disassociating and staring into space at random times, in social situations and even around conversations very surface level. Constantly redirecting the conversation to be about the other person, people to keep from talking about of interest in things they once found a lot of joy in. Answering questions with very basic answers and immediately redirecting away to something else. You haven't heard from them in 6 months. But your ego says that you shouldn't contact them because they didn't contact you. In a social encounter where all others are sharing their troubles, they stay silent and distant. They never mention anything wrong, and when asked directly, they play their answers into a corner. Sure, it may just be them doing okay, but it also could be not seeing their problems as worth the attention of others, a common depression situation. Stock answers on how they are doing. Joking masks pain, constant anger. Common disassociation, just seeing someone disconnect from reality while sitting at a bench or in a friend group just breaks my heart. Live in the dream. Living or work environment is in chaos or disarray. No one likes to hear or talk about this, but yeah. During my worst depressive relapses, I would constantly ask how people were doing. If someone you know is constantly asking everyone how they're doing if they're okay with little to no reason to why they ask, please ask it back. I was on the verge of suicide many times in the past, and all I could ever do was reach out, ask if someone was okay, and that I love them. I was never asked it back. It's a miracle that I'm still here. If the friend, family member, coworker that keeps ties with everyone and checks up on everyone consistently just stops or starts doing it less, people usually assume this person is always doing great, as they are often the cheerful one and the one others come to when they're down. Problem is, when it comes time for them to deal with things, they don't want to inconvenience anyone, so they keep quiet. Then, when they start not reaching out as often or stop, it results in them worrying that no one cares or that they're just forgotten about, putting them further into a dark place. A simple check-in on someone you haven't heard from in a while goes way further and can be more impactful than you think. Replaying the same video games or binge watching the same TV shows. When they don't interact correctly using idle, I mean is that if you ask how you doing, how is your weekend, etc., would have at worst a stock answer. If they pause to think about it, they're likely not okay, regardless of their eventual answer. Messy, dirty house. Not all people with messy houses are mentally ill, but if the state of a friend's house is continuously deteriorating and or simple tasks like throwing away cans are left undone, it's a big sign. Sometimes someone who is struggling will clean the fridge and wash clothes, but be unable to throw away mail or pick up trash. It's hard to explain. That I think I missed was a buddy of mine that was a part of the same sport group showed up in person to one of our games to say that he was busy and wasn't going to be around for most of the season. I felt it was strange because who comes in person to announce their absence? The week or so later, he went missing in the woods and they found his body 3 days later. I don't know if it was an accident or suicide, and I don't want to reveal too many details of it, but if your gut says something's off, then go with your gut. Joking constantly from my own personal experience. This gives off the impression that they are happy, but also keeps the other person at a distance from asking deeper questions regarding the struggling person. Someone who is always stressed out, on edge, and irritable is suddenly calm, nonchalant, and doesn't care about crap anymore. Check on this person. Maybe they got a girlfriend, boyfriend, or a big promotion, or finished a huge project. But also maybe they've given up and have an exit plan in place now. At least in men, social withdrawal is often the first and largest symptom of depression. We can put up a really good facade, but if you notice one of the boys not showing up to social functions as much and no one is hearing from him, check in on him for fuck's sake. Laughing too much at anything. They have great difficulty verbalizing and completing their chains of thoughts. You catch them staring off into space and get a vague sense that by speaking to them, you are summoning them from a vast distance. They seem tearful or remorseful with no apparent reason. You're almost certain that you've caught them muttering to themselves. Giving things away, especially important and meaningful pieces. Irritability. It's everything other than you, but it's hard to see that when someone is treating you negatively. It's overlooked as a symptom of other issues, including depression, CPTSD, and stress response. Casual drinking. Society has a way of dismissing alcohol use, but if you drink all the time, you have a problem. S-ness. When I was in a deep depression and a few other smaller episodes, I am under such a black cloud and demented headspace that I'll forget birthdays, plans, leaving things out, things like that. Hygiene is a huge one, noticing they only ever have their hair up, or rumpled clothing, if they normally wear makeup and suddenly stop for no reason. People normally notice when it gets to not showering, but it can be in small ways. Needing constant distractions, not wanting to go to dinners, but going to the movies is fine. Unkindness. I don't think the majority of people would choose to be unkind if they themselves were in a good place. Joking about their problems, making them seem insignificant or relatively unimportant. It's a form of a coping mechanism for a lot of people. It's weird. I had a friend simply post, "Anyone know anything about handguns?" Looking to get one for self-protection. He lived in a metro, so no flags went off. He shot himself in the heart. I had another friend who was the kindest, funniest, most happy-go-lucky person you could imagine. He would reach out to you when things felt off about your post and provide you access to support. He couldn't defeat his own darkness, though, and took his own life. Smiling even when talking about things going extremely strenuous in their lives. They are exceptionally chipper and upbeat, just so they keep everyone around them happy and don't get left behind as an inconvenience. They will also always ask, "How are you doing?" in hope you will ask them the same in return. When they can quote lines from The Office but can't seem to keep their life together. A sudden change in weight, both losing or gaining some. They stop doing things they once enjoyed and don't show any excitement when you mention it. This thread has made me realize that I'm struggling big time. ... So basically everybody is struggling. And if everyone is struggling, then no one is struggling ... Or just give all of your brothers a hug and tell them you're there for them. The funniest dude in the room wants to kill himself. If someone starts giving away all of their stuff out of nowhere, it's probably not a good sign. Reaching out to people unexpectedly. They always say, "Yeah, I'm fine," when asked how they are doing or if they are okay. When they have an excuse every time you try to see them, I think that's often because they have no motivation to get ready and socialize. So check on your friends that always seem to have an excuse. I've noticed that when friends change their social media habits, such as posting stories consistently, that something is going on in their life, and I ask if all is okay. Their outlook seems invariably hopeless, fuzzy, void of a future or purpose. The hobbies and interests they once held so dear are ominously lacking. Consumed by longing, their voice breaks, or they seem overly emotional at the vaguest of suggestion. They appear as if they have been crying before making excuses to get off and stay by themselves. Lots of questions about situations and circumstances, but not asking for help. Sometimes drinking, even when it doesn't seem problematic, can be a sign. Thanks for watching.